What is this sign that Beppo's holding supposed to be? 3 out of zeros? I literally don't know what it could be.
I thought it said $100, but I guess it's not a dollar sign. Oh, it's...
Pence?
No, I'm trying to think it might be, because he's not selling anything. He's just saying random philosophical crap.
Yeah,
So I'm
that
trying
he
to think
put
if
this
it's like a
big mark.
mathematical equation or something. I don't know. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks. Suppose so, the likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. First fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before he heard that gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Doesn't seem likely that I've ever gotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it?
Yeah, his hair really is red. Well, yeah, it's a really well red, wasn't it? Redder than my flaming firework, even.
That the fiery red maps are still buried inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute, you're saying the man was a redhead? Well, you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead, and a big trunk with him as well.
But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Seems likely the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party.
Really? No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct.
What?
Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene.
Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right.
And a red hairpiece.
Ah,
Of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we?
still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So why on earth would he have been here? Would he have been wearing something like that? The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. Yeah, it's the wig, Shady. Inspector will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying?
I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene.
So it just disappeared. Well, we expect us to have watching the building every second, do you?
We definitely saw him in the dark going in, though. No question about that.
She sounds sleepy.
Mysteriously, dangerously sleepy.
That's my favorite cereal catchphrase.
Oh, I would love cereal that
Mysteriously dangerously sleepy.
will either give you terrible indigestion or put you to sleep.
Well, it's just a matter of, is it a sleep you'll wake up from? You never know with every bite.
Put you to sleep, but every bite, there's a small chance that it'll kill you.
There's a small chance that's laced with deadly poison.
Cusco's poison.
They just lace like 1 in every 1 million pieces of cereal is just laced with deadly
literally,
poison.
they just drop one into the batch when they're in the bagging machine.
By which presumably you mean the gunshot.
I sell these little things, don't I? I know gunshot like, but I've already thought about. But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it?
I just want to say, I think her face is really cute when the little explosion goes off.
She's like, oh.
You say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building.
That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went. Just like that.
Well, he's the Reaper, ain't he? It's what the French call a fait accompli. When Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, doesn't it?
Fait accompli.
He's not very good with French.
Fait accompli. Ho ho.
I think we get the message.
The Reaper couldn't allow the Inspector to live after we discovered his secret hideout. There could be no clear motive for the crime.
Yes. Certainly an eminently credible motive. Eminently.
Eminently. At that point, you went inside, is that correct?
I think we missed something. Did we miss something?
No, she already talked about this one. Am I supposed to know what a gunshot sounds like? It's a...
Oh no, I'm thinking the wrong spot. Cool. Fine. Whatever.
Just wanted to see her.
I wish I could say that, but I looked away right at that moment.
You really did.
It's okay. I have that animation recorded on my Switch, so.
Do you really?
I have a lot of character animations from this game recorded on my Switch. I just like so many of the animations.
Do you have Sham Spears?
I believe I do. I think I have like 4 times of Van Zeke stomping his foot on the desk. Like almost every time I'm just like, I gotta record this again.
I can't, it's changed how I process existence.
What, the Shamshir dance?
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay, I was sure you meant that. Or...
I mean, Von Zeke slamming his foot on the desk was literally the moment at which I realized that I was in for a wild ride. The first time I saw it.
I was hoping you were going to say it was like the moment you realized you need to change your teaching methods or something.
I mean, that too, but...
Just to emphasize points while teaching, you just slam your foot down on the desk.
We already had this conversation.
Did we? Wow, my memory sucks. So when Gasp ran to see what had happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, you see. All the signs are that I can't move very well.
You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich put around your neck and that big sign in your hand.
What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what made me who I am now. I sign, therefore I am. So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then?
See, he does know.
But he can't remember who Evie Vigil is the day after he sees her.
I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naru.
Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot. Turn it down at King Henry Street and the Black Widow's Arms, just there.
What does it say? Hot what? Oh dear, you made him hide behind a sign.
I don't know, I'll have to check next time he does that. Life is full of surprises. There is, they won't say in-game, but the developer has confirmed that Beppo, after that one court case, lost his job when we exposed that he was charging extra and pocketing that money. And so, yeah, he's homeless now. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? I was. Kicked the door open like a professional, I did, and yelled out, "What's going off here?"
The Von Zeke claims that all he heard was a man scream, though.
And was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fellow collapsed on the floor. Just between us. It's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. Ah, I see. Even the Lord Van Ziek claims not to have seen any such lights in the wall. Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
The accused. Sorry. The accused, Barack Von Zieks.
That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold hard stare myself.
Somebody has something to say.
Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am. Just 2 slices with no middle.
Two slices.
No thoughts, empty ahead. So I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something. I haven't heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. What I think is, well, nothing's really. We tried to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. Enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. That's it? Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off at all fours. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor is dead slippery, that's why. Planted my head in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. What? A pool of blood? Well, listen here. Even when I was sprawled out on the floor, still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare. And don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand? I did, Happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep it between us, can't we? No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. What?
It's like, can we keep it a secret? No, we actually have to write put this in actual official documentation.
Oh, if I must.
Or hundreds of years into the future, people can access the court proceedings
And laugh at you.
laugh at you for being scared of a murder.
He got freaked out when he put his hand in blood.
Oh, you saw a corpse in the.
We're a little baby. I bathe in blood.
He ran away. Ooh, what a big baby.
Witness lamented testimony and include the aforementioned details at once.
Ellipses.
British-Japanese ellipses.
British Japanese ellipses.
I flipped over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. You wiped your hand on the floor? Well, who wants blood on his hand, eh? Horrible stuff. They might have thought I'd done it. No tie. And you didn't think that might be a problem? Doesn't really matter if I let a few grubby handprints on the floor. They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's a message from all of us. There's something wrong, Counsel.
No, my lord. I didn't remember everything. I didn't remember anything about the report about a bloody handprint on the floor. That's all.
Don't come out with me all that. You can't intimidate me. I know what I did. I wiped it off on the floor, the blood. I wonder, could that be what happened?
Mr. Naruhodo.
I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue.
Opa.
So you didn't run into the room with your friends?
I'm not that sort of girl.
Sorry?
I'm a timid little thing, me. I was too scared to go in there.
Ah, right. I see.
Old Lippy and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a scream of a sort of an old lady scream.
Well, that was me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stake my honor on it.
I wondered what on earth was going on.
Which is when you went to find a policeman.
And I ran into a copper as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight back to the place, didn't I do well? Huh?
Just between us, that copper's eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the Reaper. I've never felt more uncomfortable in all my life. The defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe.
Considering the catalogue of killings the Reaper had carried out, it was a particularly inauspicious end.
I can't find any holes in his testimony.
I'm afraid the judge would give a ruling of guilty, Mr. Naruhodo.
The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning.
Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there?
Still, if Lord Van Zeeks really is innocent, then I'm almost certain they'll find something in there which doesn't quite add up.
You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you?
I don't know. What I do know is that there's more to this case that's yet to be brought to light. Okay. So, do your work.
But. Next statement. Next statement. Next statement.
Oops.
Oh, too far.
I spammed the button too many times.
Okay, present. The board with the blood on the board.
Which blood?
That one.
This?
That one. Yeah.
Objection.
You've been objected.
The Objectinator. So you wiped out...
Betty the Platypus! You are trapped by my Objectinator!
Howard completely an objective. By that I mean completely objective.
You must now sit as we go through this mundane trial.
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to done, eh? Doesn't really matter.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting?
If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Sogi. What?
Shut your mouth!
If you just keep quiet and just let me finish, you'll know what I'm going on about. Like,
can I speak? Oh, okay.
Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor.
What are you trying to say? There was a handprint.
There was a handprint
There
was a handprint in blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Why is he...
Oh, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. Why is he what?
Why is he so shocked? Like I don't understand. I don't understand anything. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab a back pillow because my lower back is hurting.
Oh, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I know it anywhere. Oh, we'll wait till he gets back so he doesn't miss anything.
I can hear.
Ah. Okay, well, that's his right hand. He'd know it anywhere.
It's his right hand. He can do it anywhere.
Objection.
Objection.
Venus has a bit of a booty.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I missed Venus's booty. Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Just wait. They'll show it again. They'll zoom out of the back again.
The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there.
Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notices were in the opposite corner of the room to the victim in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time. It would have been a considerable distance from the body.
I just want to say it's a really crappy argument, because if you're saying that it could have been knocked over and therefore put back up afterwards, it could have been literally anywhere in the room. I fell over when I came across the body. So I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's searching is contradictory.
Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I think you formulated a proper hypothesis, Counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene. I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by...
You want to save?
Oh, that does not sound very confident.
Well, I presented the handprint because I knew that the handprint was a contradiction. I don't know why it's relevant, so I have to now think about it. I want to say the most relevant thing is that it was a false testimony.
You think it was a false testimony?
I mean, it's the most relevant reason why it would be an issue, in my opinion. The other would be the board moving. I don't know. It could be any of the three. I want to say the discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by a false testimony.
The witness claims to have wiped his bloody hand on the floor, yet no sign of that remains at the scene. The simplest explanation is that the witness is lying.
Objection.
Just because it's the simplest explanation doesn't make it the correct one. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ah, but what about Axum's razor?
Positing perjury simply because it suits you. You bring shame on your Japanese heritage.
Ah, that was harsh. I would ask you not to oversimplify matters again, Counsel.
I don't remember fostering that kind of simplistic thinking in you.
Jeez. Since when were you my father?
I was gonna say, this is hard.
Anyways, I was taught to consider all possibilities.
Then show me.
Oh,
Should be a bloody handprint on the floor.
Yeah,
Where'd
this
it
is
go?
all.
There we go.
That was a very, very harsh.
Yeah, especially considering that they're not discounting it. They're just saying that it's too simple of an explanation. Like, never did they say that, oh, no, it's wrong. They're like,
It's just like
It could be anything else.
they're
It
just
could be
like
anything else.
that explanation is too simple. You've insulted your all Japanese people with that, and all of
dare
my
you.
teachings for you.
How dare
Son.
you insinuate that it could be a simple answer? You disgust me. You disgust every single person who's ever met you.
Dishonor on
You're a
you.
piece of
Dishonor on your
crap.
cow.
Dishonor on your cow. I can't believe it. Because I don't have a cow. I bought you a cow just so I could be ashamed of you.
Just now. Bring it in. Becca,
It
this is your owner. He dishonored you.
has a Phoenix Wright's hairdo.
No, it's Larry Butch hairdo. It's his ancestor.
Oh no! The board moving then.
The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is. If the witness has put his hand against the board, the finger should be pointing upwards.
What? What does that tell us? What does that tell us?
It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved.
What?
See your
Oh, look at
booty.
that booty.
Objection.
Well, I think it's because she's at an angle.
Yeah, but still. It's kind of jutting out.
Because like Gossip also has a little booty.
Oh, what's wrong with Gossip having a little booty?
I'm saying that they're both like jutting it out.
Yeah, maybe that's just what's hip right now among...
I mean,
Street
it would definitely
peddlers.
have to be hip to some capacity. You require a lot of hip motion to get it.
Shady said, God, that stance must hurt his back.
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Don't tell the court who.
I don't know that yet. But the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. That would be... the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. Shady called it a Chad stance. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? You don't sound very confident.
I'm not.
Put your faith in me.
Right
Right here?
I think it was right next to Gregson, on top of Gregson. I don't know, somewhere in the
Where?
general Gregson area, like right there.
Here?
Go up. There.
There?
Yeah, somewhere there.
Take that.
This is the only possible location.
Ha!
It's not anywhere near where we clicked, but okay.
No, I got it. I got it in one. I got it in one.
Immediately adjacent to the doorway. If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark. He couldn't see the body. Back!
Can you guys even do that?
Yes, can. If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view. The light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection.
But the accused also claimed that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, just as I picked up the firearm, I examined it. The door flew open and I heard a mad scream.
Was that necessary?
It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
Susato, that's offensive.
Oh, my apologies.
I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Well, it was me that kicked the door open. If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would have happened if the door to the room was thrown open with force.
Go blam. But that can't.
The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible. Good gracious. My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw.
Ugh.
Order. Counsel, how has this not come to light before now? After the incident, somebody must have read to the board and moved it. Into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when we investigated the room. Witness, what have you to say for yourself? What? Me, my lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. Goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witness isn't the stand. We'll testify again. You'll each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over the glasses at me. I get the message. The Mystery of the Moving Board. My favorite Fire Emblem game. I don't know anything about that there notice board. Write my hand on it, that's all.
Oh, she turns on the match with her booty.
Oh, you just noticed that?
Yeah.
No, every time she's lit the match, she's struck it on her butt.
Struck. She got buns of steel.
She's giving it some extra feel.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. Makes me really uncomfortable.
What?
We don't have to talk about it. Continue.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that sign. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a bystander at the crossroads of life. What makes you comfortable? What was that Reaper I bet? You gotta face that screen's board. I kick in to see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when you hit the gunshot. What makes you uncomfortable?
Listen, Sandwich. I'm letting it go. Everybody else should too.
But I don't let anything go.
You let go of your job. Oh wait, the job let you go. Oh.
None of you can elaborate further.
Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see, we can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. And it don't pay to expect too much.
It's a man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. Do you? Really?
In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot ran out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Baroque von Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses, despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. Judge is seriously just like, do you give up? Ow, that hurts to try to do. See,
That's very painful.
I mean, it felt good on my spine, but like my left arm, that hurt. So you admit that it was the board who wiped your bloody hand on? Admit it. What's to admit? They're plain as day for all you to see. A smashing print on my right hand. Smashing.
Smasher.
Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint, so you added the notice board and pushed it to the corner, did you? No. Imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured wizard, man? Well, did you see anybody else moving the board? I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver.
In other words, the witness was unable to give a definite testimony on that point.
Yes, so it would seem.
Hold it!
When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else? There's a priory school just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have a plan to blow the school to kingdom come. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Doggy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see?
I love Venus. What a racket.
Of course, sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know.
See, she's just a smart businesswoman.
It's a busy old life selling explosives.
This is a guileful goddess indeed.
Well, telling the barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it.
She's throwing fireworks at people now.
Excuse me.
Beppo! Mind your business. Beppo's all about how people's biz.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich. If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No. Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not the liar. Ooh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think? Not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you?
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you?
Are you doing
Keep on like that.
Dragalia or something?
No,
Ah.
I've stopped doing Dragalia. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and send them off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
Oh man, did she just get more attractive?
Listen, Shad JP, if that is real name.
It is. It's on my legal documents.
You're the reason why Sundar characters still exist.
Really? You're not. I feel hurt. You're not gonna like blame me for Yandere?
I mean, I was trying to be polite, but yeah, truly, it's actually Yandere.
Somebody has to. I'm doing the world a favor and taking that out.
Somebody has to. Please take every single Yandere. Well, no, because it'll be a bloodbath. But you know what I mean. The principle stands.
You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
That's your type. Startlingly beautiful. What is it? Startlingly what?
Startlingly disturbing mind behind a
sweet
sweet and innocent face.
That's ChatGPT's type. Everybody.
Words to my ear. What have I?
Words to my
ear. Sure.
Letters to my eyes.
So, Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Old blabbermouth here is headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
You mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all?
What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
Also, she's been tossing lit matches behind her. That's almost more worrisome than the fireworks.
Magnum McGilded's ghost is just screaming in the background.
Yes, he mentioned it.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
How do firecrackers pack such a punch?
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you've come to mention it. I suppose perhaps I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah.
Either you clearly remembered it, or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurous act later. For the time being, you'll immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Yeah, at least she's gonna get punished for perjury.
Oh, yes, my lord. Of course.
Well, maybe she wants to be. New line.
Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek in the room where it all happened.
You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. You want my advice, though? I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
Alright, but you did, in fact, go to the room where the victim was killed on the day of question, didn't you?
Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. When you go my age, just curious about stuff, you know.
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Please, if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I had to look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once over, but it's nothing to write home about.
Right. Now I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flipping thing. Sorry, I flipped the blasted thing.
What blasted the flippin' thing?
You're telling us that you did move the board.
I also love how she was told she's going to be punished for perjury, and she's now commit perjury 3 times since that in like less than a minute. She's like, I don't care. Punish me. Please.
Maybe I'll like it. What are you gonna do? Put me in jail? I think that did slip out, did it?
What? You deaf bumper!
I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Something you might have taken, perhaps? To sell?
Oh, please. I should be so lucky in my imagination. The truth now! I might have found a little pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. A bit of junk like this can be worth more if you ask. Ah! So it was you, was it? You're the one.
No.
Sorry, you're right. So it was you.
No.
You're the one who took it. No.
No.
So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it?
Gina.
Young lady, may I remind you where you are?
That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case sold 10 years ago. The Professor case, no doubt. Everything's about the Professor case now. You know that ice cream you guys had 7 months ago? The Professor case.
What do you want to have for dinner tonight? The Professor case.
The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. He was still hungry after an entire day of eating nothing but fish and chips.
It's exhausting trying to keep a fish and chips eldritch being at bay. He needed something that wouldn't fish and chips.
He just needed an aperitif, just something to like palate cleanse. I swiped him off him once and blimey was he upset. Gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then.
It's not all that though. I took it to Jabé that night just to ask how much that was worth. But the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it, said it wasn't working, knocked about and worthless he called it. Ah! I knew I should have lifted it! Oh, I just read the board. I literally just escaped my mind as I saw it.
What?
It says Hot Actual Hero.
Hot Actual Hero?
That's what it says. It says hot in hot pink and then actual hero in white. Like it took me a second to process it because of how weird that is. Like, why would it even say that?
I don't know. That sounds like a good action game series name.
Hot actual hero. Well, I mean, look at it next time to see if that's right, because that doesn't even sound correct.
I'll be sure to completely forget about it next time it comes up until right after.
The watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance! I'll swipe it off if you try to get your gummy mitts on it again.
That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
How catty.
Now, children, watch your manners.
Good lord. The glass appears to be broken.
More than likely, it's shut. I'm sorry. The prosecution side always makes me just want to be evil. More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot.
Are you insinuating that Kazum is not evil?
Well, that's not the line direction that I got when you originally gave him to me. You said justice.
Did I say justice?
Maybe.
Justice, evil.
There's a fine line between justice and evil.
Tomatoes.
It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabe didn't want it to face.
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard, then.
Which supports the prosecution claims, of course.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board had been solved at least.
Let's look at that bad boy. As predicted, I had very little bearing on the case.
The glass over the face really is badly cracked, look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
Shady said he's willing to do whatever it takes for justice, no matter how many men, women, and children have to die for it. Jeez.
Very intense.
I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job, man. Oh, my lower back really is killing me.
Do that weird stretch that Gossip does. It's a
That's
tiny.
not a lower back stretch. That's an upper back stretch.
It's all one back. There's a tiny little sticks. There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole here. Look.
I suppose it must be a little knob or something on that for setting the time.
In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it?
Yes, of course.
Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. There's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see?
Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism.
Looks like a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole.
It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we already found.
Okay, anything else?
The low policeman.
The policeman, what about him?
The low policeman is the key.
Okay, did you want me to do something with him?
Let me see. Yeah.
Cool.
The helmet on this little charming policeman appears to be a little worse to wear.
Not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Should we try twisting it around and around too? For fun. What's that?
It appears to be some sort of key.
But it's tiny though, it couldn't be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder?
Oh my gosh, you literally just had this conversation.
Mr. Zato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch?
Oh, yes, it could be.
It's just that he can't think in his head. He has to go through the process out loud.
It's like how what, I feel like I've seen something that looks like this, like it would fit perfectly in here.
He just
We did not inspect this at all when we first got it. So
Did we
how
not?
We did not.
oh
So them being like, oh, I've seen something that would fit here. It's complete conjecture.
then how do you think there was a policeman?
What?
Why did you think it was a policeman then?
It just made sense that it like would have to be. That's the only thing we have from the crime scene at this point. It was that or the wig, and it wasn't gonna be a wig.
I don't know. It'd be funnier if it was the wig.
It would be really funny if it was a wig, and Gregson just happens to have a wig shoved in his pants the entire time. Oh yes, it could be. I already read this line, but let's try it once. There's not a moment to lose.
I should have put a censor bar over that, but
I know.
Let's
get there.
God, if I had like a sound effect like that, like
You can isolate it. You didn't say anything.
I knew it. A perfect fit. Excuse me, controller. Oh my God. Gotta unplug and replug it in.
Here, be quiet so I can give you a clean take.
No.
Oh no, there's the ticking in the background. And look,
Shady said make it an alert message.
every time somebody donates or like subscribes,
Every time somebody follows, and then they immediately unfollow.
Yeah.
Like-
Get there.
Nope.
Nope. Bye. The inspector's watch started going again.
So it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mrs. Otto?
Well, if the watch isn't actually broken into after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications.
She's deep in thought now.
All alone.
Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. Shady, there's no such thing as an unfollow alert sound.
It's just Kudasai. Then you get them both. You get your Tatsukete and your Kudasai.
Ugh.
Now then, continue the cross-examination, please, Counsel.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander. But a whoopee. But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? There's no street, it's my whole world. That's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I wanted to hold up my sign up high.
So you did go and see what happened.
It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both the different members of the Sign family.
See? Hot
So-
actual hero.
So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out up in a sense of rivalry, I admit. I guess the text box not helping me. I think you're right.
Hot actual hero.
Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sinians. 10 out of 10 joke.
Does that mean that you didn't notice the board?
I'm now going to use that joke constantly with no context.
Somebody needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sinian. It's like, excuse me?
I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life.
In which case, just who is responsible for moving the notice board? What's that ripper? I bet that face that screams bored.
Also, we already know who it was, they said. What exactly do you mean by that?
Come on now, don't you tell us you haven't noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards, the one things he likes. You can see it in his eyes.
I can't say I'd ever noticed.
I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that floor. Off that man on the floor. Not off... or off the Reaper, not a second.
Sorry?
Well, I was that scared I couldn't. You don't never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, you know?
If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board.
I can't. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I could swear to that. I couldn't have missed it if he'd heaved the thing upright again and dragged into the corner.
Right. Glad we've cleared that up.
What happened to the face that screams bored?
I feel your pain, Kazuma. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over, maybe it didn't, maybe I fell over, maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of the gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too. My fate?
That's right. The defense is fated to lose. And the prosecution to win.
In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of the story.
It may be possible to change all our fates.
Of course, and none of that changes the fact that when I heard what I heard, it is it. Not much to go on.
As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have moved.
But it did happen after the
Oh,
event,
gotcha.
so maybe Kazuma's right and it's not relevant to the case.
But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of it.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I have no doubt that there's more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track. I can feel it. So follow your instincts.
Alright then.